Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Jenny Gilruth, the Scottish Education Minister, was asked if the SNP intend to end child poverty. And she refuses to say. She couldn't say that the SNP and John Swinney will actually eradicate it. She did say, we're attempting, we're trying, it's our aim, it's our ambition. But it's clearly, might well be an ambition, but it's clearly completely impossible for them to do it. They know it too. They literally haven't got the money. And of course, they haven't got the political will either, because it would involve not spending money on independence. And that ain't never going to happen under John Swinney, is it? This is a man who cuts funding to every single department of government except independence. And so she was sitting there trying to look for words that would appease the questioner without actually saying yes or no, and failing. And it's quite clear they can't. They haven't got a clue on how to go about doing it. As I say, it's something that's hard when you're not really interested in doing it, shall we say. It suits the SNP to have impoverished people because people can be cold and wet and miserable and poor and hungry. And then the SNP can point to Westminster and say it's all their fault, not the SNP's fault, even though the SNP have been in charge for nearly 18 years now. But she was giving evidence to the Education, Children and Young People Committee, and the committee members were asking her some pertinent and difficult questions, and she struggled. She was like a guppy. The mouth was opening and closing, but there was nothing coming out, or at least nothing substantial. And of course, with the budget is now being set, so there's no more money for her. She can't just go and say, well, I have the spare money. She hasn't got enough. Her budget was, in real terms, cut. What's a girl to do? Well, for her, there's not a lot. I mean, she's well out of her depth. She hasn't got a clue what she's doing. Educational standards are still slipping. And ever more pupils are turning up at Scottish schools hungry. You'd think they'd learn their lesson, wouldn't you? You'd think they'd say, everybody keeps slagging us off for this. Maybe we should do something different. And they don't. And it just gets worse and worse. 24% of children in Scotland come from families who are struggling to make ends meet. A quarter of all children in Scotland are technically in poverty. That is shameful. That is particularly shameful because they've known of this problem for so long and have done nothing about it. Let me know what you think. Thanks a lot. Bye.